Drama. You want drama? We got drama, folks, tonight. Giants, Bills give us all we can handle. 14-9. Bills with the stand all the way down, pass interference, untimed down. And that's what we bring you here at FTN Fantasy. I'm Mike Randle. Follow me on Twitter at Randle Rand, Chief Content Officer here at FTN. We have everything you need. FTN Fantasy, daily bets. We have NBA, hockey's underway. We have college basketball coming up. So many great things. And what we do here tonight, as we do every Sunday, is we take you around the entire NFL and give you all the pertinent fantasy information. So here we go, folks. Let's get into it. We're going to roll through each of the 14 games that have happened in week 6. A lot of drama. Let's get into it. First, Commanders 24, Falcons 16. Bit of an upset here. Washington is tough. Washington reminds me of king of the little people. What they do is they can beat the teams that are sort of middle or below. They struggle against top teams, but look what they did. Sam Howell, 14-23, 151, 3 big TDs. Brian Robinson continues to be involved in the offense, both as a runner and a receiver, 2-25 in the air and caught a touchdown. McLaurin, 6-81. Atlanta was very good per DVOA against opposing number 1 wide receivers. McLaurin with a solid line. Curtis Samuel gets in the end zone. Logan Thomas comes back down to earth against the massive game last week against the Bears. And Antonio Gibson, pretty much non-factor, but did catch a touchdown to get in the end zone. Other side, Desmond Ridder, getting better each week, but bad interception late in the game here. 28-47, 307, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Tyler Algier, 51. Remember, Bijan Robinson, still a part of the offense, but Algier is going to eat into the rushing yards. Except for one game, Bijan Robinson has been a major factor in the passing game. He has 5 receptions, 43 yards today. Drake London, as per Alex Blickel on the DFS show this morning, said it's the London game. He was a reverse team candidate, 9 receptions, 125 yards. Kyle Pitts, 443. He got in the end zone. But don't forget about Jonnu Smith, who's always going to be hanging around. He had a touchdown as well. Next game, Vikings 19, Bears 13. Wind was an issue here. Kind of like the over. Game was played a little bit lower pace. Kirk Cousins, 21-30, 181 touchdown, fumble loss. He's not great on the road. Not a guy who's great on the road. Alexander Madison, 18-44, 4 receptions, 20 yards. He's still involved in the receiving game, even though the rushing yardage is tough and he is not efficient and Cam Akers is around. As you can see, when it comes to the receiving, Alexander Madison is going to be a part of this offense. And so I think since the Vikings project to have a lot of negative game script, Alexander Madison still has fantasy value because he's involved in the receiving game. TJ Hawkinson, 6 for 50. KJ Osborne, 4 for 48. Jordan Addison did get a late touchdown to the salvage line that otherwise was disappointing. On the other side, Justin Fields gets hurt, cannot come back in the game. 6 of 10, 58 yards, an interception, 46 rushing yards, but he was injured. He was out. Bagging comes in, struggles, interception, fumble, loss, try to bring him back, but just couldn't. Deonta Foreman, 15-65, struggled, but got to the over for our Kevin Adams and myself here, and a lot of people who liked his over rushing yards around 50, 51, or 52, wherever you got it. DJ Moore back down to earth, 5 for 51. Darnell Mooney, 2 for 48. Cole Kmet, non-existent. Next game, Ravens 24, Titans 16. This was across the pond. Lamar Jackson does what Lamar Jackson does. 62 rushing yards against man defense, as Sam Trudry and Josh Gross here told you about that in their bets as they were getting ready this week. Gus Edwards, 16 for 40. Justice Hill, 3 receptions, 0 yards. How does that happen? I have no idea, but interesting stat line. Mark Andrews, 4 for 69. Got a lot of that late. Was really pretty much non-existent, but got a couple passes late. Zay Flowers, fantastic. Finally got in the end zone here in the regular season. The rookie from Boston College, 6 for 50 and a touchdown. Ryan Tannehill, terrible. 8 for 16, 76 yards. He was intercepted and injured out of the game. In Malik Willis came. Of course, the offense is going to struggle. Derrick Henry, 12 for 97 and a touchdown. He just wears you down and gets a decent stat line at a running back fantasy position that a lot of people are struggling right now. Tajay Spears, 4 for 15, finally got involved in the receiving game late. 1 reception, 48 big yards, almost got them the win. DeAndre Hopkins shut down by the Ravens, 1 for 20. Chio Kongwu, 2 for 18, but with Malik Willis coming aboard now, probably at least for a week or two, probably see Chio Kongwu get some value and increase. The Thursday night snooze fest, Chiefs 19, Broncos 8. Patrick Mahomes finds a way to get 75% completion percentage, finds a way to get 300 passing yards. Isaiah Pacheco solid on the ground. Travis Kelce finally had himself a game, 9 for 124. Rashee Rice is the best receiver here. None of these other guys can get open. Sky Moore, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Justin Watson, none of these guys can get open except for Rashee Rice. He is the main guy. Yes, Tony got a touchdown. It was on a little almost jet sweep dump off there. So really a non-factor. Rashee Rice is the wide receiver you want in this offense. He's the only guy who seems to get open. Mahomes wanted him. They're starting to build the connection. Other side, Russ not cooking. 13-22 of 95, a touchdown, 2 interceptions, 31 rushing yards. He has hit his rushing yards prop in 4 of the first 6 games. So something you may want to keep a lookout because he is a competitor. He is going to push and try to run, and these receivers are not getting open. Javonte Williams back. He takes over the load, 10 rushes, 52 yards. Jaleel McLaughlin now becoming sort of a passing game player, not as much involved, 7 for 32 for 12. Samaje Perine, god-awful, 2 for 12, fumble loss. McLaughlin has taken the spot of Perine. He is done, especially with Javonte Williams healthy. Cortland Sutton, great touchdown, acrobatic touchdown catch on the side. Jerry Jeudy, terrible after Steve Smith, the guy right behind me, called him out. He was terrible, 3 for 14. He needs to be traded to be fantasy relevant. Bengals 17, Seahawks 13. Seahawks were gutsy in this, got all the way down to the 5-yard line, couldn't get in as time expires. Joe Burrow, not great. He was great against Arizona. We thought we got over the hump. You can see on social media, he still had a massive sort of wrap on his calf. I would not say that he's totally healthy. 2 touchdowns, interception. Jamar Chase, solid, but of course they were going to take him out. Joe Mixon, very disappointing. I mean, Joe Mixon gets volume each and every week against Seattle. No matter who he's going against, he just doesn't produce. You know Joe Mixon's going to have that 50-point game that he always has, but it's just been terrible. He's one of the few fantasy running backs that's an enigma. He's not challenged. He gets the majority of touches and can do nothing regardless of the opponent. Tyler Boyd gets in the end zone, and T. Higgins, if we haven't learned it, Two-Gun talked about it, and the DFS guys, David Jones, Alex Blickel, if T. Higgins has a questionable tag, you are not playing him. We've seen him be non-existent, not even get a target today, only 2 of 20. Other side, Geno, 323, a lot of passing yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Ken Walker gets in the end zone, and that's all we want from running backs at this point is to get in the end zone. Tyler Lockett, 6 for 94, big bomb caught late. DK Metcalf, 4 for 69, wasn't really involved, got a terrible personal foul penalty, was getting frustrated. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 4 for 48. Browns with a huge win, 19-17 with PJ Walker, the USFL star at quarterback, 18 of 34, 2 interceptions, but he managed the game and did what he had to do. And this was a defensive win for the Browns, no doubt. Jerome Ford, 17 for 84. That's fine. Amari Cooper, how great is Amari Cooper? 4 for 108, gets open all over the place, even with PJ Walker throwing the ball. Fantastic. Kareem Hunt got in the end zone, which was great. Touchdown. David Njoku, 3 for 24. Still not a huge option here until Deshaun Watson comes back. Brock Purdy, right after he became the #1 betting favorite to be MVP, goes 12 of 27, 125, a touchdown, and interception. I wonder if the Niners would have won this game if Christian McCaffrey did not leave with an injury. He looks like he's okay. I believe they're calling it an oblique injury. I think he's going to be fine, but they missed him late. Did have a receiving touchdown, which means he continues to get a touchdown. He's gotten a touchdown every game since he came over from Carolina to San Francisco last year. Deebo Samuel also left with an injury, 2 for 11 for him. Brandon Ayuk, 4 for 76. He should be getting a lot of volume in the future, especially if Samuel can't go. And Jordan Mason got in for the plus 1,200 hit for our editor-in-chief here at FTN, Daniel Kelly, plus 1,200 anytime touchdown for Jordan Mason. Dolphins 42, Panthers 21. Panthers got up 14-0. Dolphins then woke up and took care of business. 3 touchdowns. Mostert, just massive. Man, Raheem Mostert was the choice. You could team backfield draft him and Devon Achane, and it's been fantastic. 115 yards, 3 total touchdowns, 1 in the air. Salvon Ahmed got in for our Sam Trudry, hit 12.5K on DFS today. Salvon Ahmed got in with a late touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 6 for 163 and 1. Jalen Waddle also got in. Everyone got in. Touchdowns all over the place. Bryce Young, not terrible, 23 of 38, 216, and a touchdown. And went to Adam Thielen. Chuba Hubbard coming in for Miles Sanders, who was inactive in this game, also got a touchdown. DJ Chark, just 3 receptions. That was pretty much it. It was consolidated, just those 3. Jaguars had the big game finally, 37, Colts 20 in this AFC South rivalry. Trevor Lawrence, 2 touchdowns, interception. Travis Etienne got 2 touchdowns early, then sort of faded out late, but got those 2 touchdowns for you. Christian Kirk got in. Evan Ingram, 741. Calvin Ridley, except for week 1, has been terrible. Even last week in London against the Bills, yes, he got a touchdown and broken coverage, but has not produced since the first week. Strange, the other tight end, 2 for 27 and a touchdown. Gardner Minshew is going to be an issue. Richardson's going to be out probably the year if I had to guess, because why would they rush him back? Gardner Minshew, 328, touchdown, had 3 interceptions and a fumble lost, but he is going to move this offense. Zach Moss gets in. Jonathan Taylor does not, but between Moss and Taylor, they have 11 receptions. Running back reception is going to be big on this team. Michael Pittman, 9 for 109. Michael Pittman was dropped in one of the leagues I was in. I picked him up. He is a problem. He is going to be a legitimate wide receiver 1 with Gardner Minshew, the pocket passer, under center now, and Kylen Granson, the tight end, 3 for 67. Texans 20, Saints 13. Thank you very much for this. CJ Stroud, 13 of 27, 199, 2 touchdowns, interception. He had the interception, first turnover of the year. Interestingly enough, the Texans popped it back out when it got picked off and got the ball back, so it never actually changed possession for the next down. Devin Singletary was better than Damian Pierce. 12 for 58. Pierce really struggling. Nico Collins still, even against a tough Saints defense, 4 for 80. Dalton Schultz got in. No one scores if you're a tight end against the Texans. Robert Woods got in. Touchdown as well. On the other side, Derek Carr, 353. A lot of it was catch-up as they were losing big in the second half. Alvin Kamara solid, gets those receptions. Not a lot of yards, but he's getting a lot of receptions. Olave, 7 for 96. Rashid caught a touchdown, 2 for 85 and 1. Taysom Hill had 7 receptions. And Michael Thomas, 4 for 45. Raiders 21, Patriots 17. Jimmy G hurt and left the game. This was just brutal. I had Patriots +3. It looked like it was in the bag. Just a brutal, brutal situation where Mac Jones takes a safety with like 30 seconds left, which he just can't do. Raiders get the win and the cover. Josh Jacobs, volume play, 25 of 77. Michael Mayer, the tight end, he's been involved the last couple of weeks. Keep track of him, 5 for 75. Jacoby Myers, revenge game, 5 for 61 and 1. And Devontae Adams, 2 for 29, really only got going here when the backup quarterback Brian Hoyer came in when Jimmy G left. Mac Jones, 24-33, horrific with an interception. Ramondre Stevenson finally gets in, 10 for 46, 5 receptions, decent day, but just didn't look good. Zeke Elliott gets in. Kendrick Bourne, massive day, 10 for 89, no touchdown. Mike Gesicki, 3 for 28. Hunter Henry left with an injury. Take note of that. Rams, 27, Cardinals, 9. Matthew Stafford threw a TD to Cooper Kupp. Look at Cooper Kupp, 7 for 148, just automatic. Puka Nacua starting to slow down a little bit. Kyron Williams, massive day, 20 for 158. He also had a touchdown and left with an injury, but afterward, Sean McVay said he should be okay for next week. On the other side, Josh Dobbs starting to come back to earth, working hard, but multiple turnovers now each of the last 2 weeks. Interception and a fumble lost, had 47 rushing yards to save his day. Keontae Ingram, the clear running back over DeMercado, not even a question, 10 for 40, 2 receptions for 11. Damian Williams actually played in this game more than DeMercado, so it's Ingram and even Damian Williams if you want. The big receiver, Michael Wilson, 3 for 62. Brown, 4 for 36, and Ertz, 3 for 22. Jets 20, Eagles 16, massive, massive upset here. Jalen Hurts, 3 interceptions. That was the problem. Too many turnovers and got one late, which got Breece Hall in the end zone. The Eagles' run defense is legit. They stopped Breece Hall for most of the day, but the turnovers killed the Eagles. Brutal. Zach Wilson managed the game. Garrett Wilson, 8 for 90. Conklin, 3 for 24. On the other side, Swift, again, continues to be the lead back. Had 8 for 40 and 1 touchdown, had the reception in the first half for a touchdown, but a bad fumble lost as well. A.J. Brown, 7 for 131. Devonta Smith, 544. Goddard, 5 for 42. If you look at these numbers, it's obvious what happened. The Jets defense playing without their top 2 cornerbacks beat the Eagles. Why? The 3 interceptions for Jalen Hurts. Just horrific. Lions 20, Buccaneers 6, Goff 2 touchdowns. Thank you very much. David Montgomery left with an injury. I think it was a rib injury. Looks like he'll be out a week or 2, but it should not be long-term. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the question was, does he have a hernia? Does he have a abdominal pull? Looks to be an abdominal pull here, folks. Thank goodness for that. We'll get to your questions in a minute. The questions are starting to come in here. Jameson Williams is back. If he's on your waiver wire, he won't be any longer. 2 for 53, caught a huge bomb. Josh Reynolds, 3 for 50. Sam Laporta, yes, he was questionable coming into this game. He was only 4 for 36, but look what I put there, 11 targets. Sam Laporta, top 3 tight end, rest of season, no doubt. Other side, Baker Mayfield didn't have it, little rusty coming off the bye. Rashad White could not do anything. This Lions defense stops the run. They stop it every single week. Chris Godwin, 6 of 77. Mike Evans, disappointing, 449. Kate Otten is on the field. He's like Durham Smythe, on the field a lot, doesn't do a heck of a lot. And the last one was the game tonight. Bills 14, Giants 9. Josh Allen, 2 TDs and interception. James Cook, fantastic, 14 for 71. Also, Damian Harris, prayers up for him. Left on a stretcher, did have feeling and movement in his legs and extremities, but he'll certainly be out for a while. So maybe Cook along with Latavius Murray, but especially Cook will get more opportunities. Stephon Diggs, 10 for 100. Quentin Morris with his first reception, 115 and a touchdown. Deontay Hardy got the other touchdown as well. On the other side, Giants played great. Saquon Barkley just continues to grind behind a bad offensive line and a bad offense. Slayton, 469. Waller got some receptions late, 5 for 42. Comments here, questions? George, should I get rid of James Cook? The Bills use Murray a lot. Who should I try to trade for? I would not get rid of James Cook, George, and here's why. James Cook receives and rushes the ball. Now, without Damian Harris, you have a chance here. You have a running back that is part of both the receiving and the passing game. I don't know who you can get. There are so many backfields out there that are backfields that are RBBCs, that are committees. Who can you possibly get? To me, James Cook is better than a Rashad White. He's better than some of those guys because he's in a great offense. He receives the ball and he rushes the ball. I know he doesn't get the ball at the goal line, but I am keeping James Cook because I love the fact that each and every week I'm getting 50 and 40 or 60 and 30. I'll take it. And if he gets a touchdown, he's a top 8 running back. Do not get rid of James Cook, George. Folks, there you go. Fastest 15 minutes that you'll find Sunday night, FTN. Thanks for joining us around the league. Gotta love what we're doing here at FTN Fantasy. I will be back, Randle Rant, next week, Sunday, week 7. More to come.